Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Let's start to solve worksheet number 3, page 67. Okay? Question number one, define the following. What does it mean by the chemical reactions? Chemical reactions means it's the breaking down of the bond or the existing bond in the reactants and then forming a new bond in the product. So it's the chemical reactions means it's the breaking over the existing bond in the reactant molecule and forming a new bond in the product. Number two, the chemical reactions. What does it mean by chemical reactions? Chemical reactions like this reaction. Magnesium reacts with oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. I can say that this is called chemical equations. What does it mean by chemical equations? It's a set of samples, and chemical formula of the compound that representing the reactants, magnesium reacts with oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. So it's a set of the chemical formula representing the reactants and the product molecules in the chemical reactions, and also represents the conditions of the reactions. Also represent what the conditions of the reactants. If I use heat or use diluted acid or concentrated acid, so it represents the conditions of the reactions. So let's write the definition of the chemical equations. It's a set of samples and chemical formula represents the reactants and products and product molecules in the chemical reactions and it represents the conditions of the reactions, and it represents the conditions of the reactions. Question 2, if you know that the mass of magnesium equal 24 and the oxygen mass O is 16, calculate the sum of the mass and sum of the masses of the reactants and the products in the following chemical equations. Magnesium reacts with oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. Okay, I need to calculate the mass of the reactants and the mass of the product. Mass of the reactants. So here 2 times times Mg24, so equal 48. Okay, but oxygen 2 times 16 equal 32. Okay, so the mass of the reactants equal what? Equal 48 plus 48 plus 32, so it equal 80. So the mass of the reactants equal 80. And the mass of the products Mg2 times Mg24 plus 24 plus 16, so it equal 40. 40. So 2 times 40 equal 80. So the mass of the products equal 80. Okay. B, state the constant ratios. What does it mean by the constant ratio? The constant ratio means that the chemical compound is produced from chemical combination of the atoms of 2 or more elements by constant weight ratio. Okay, let's start to answer the state of the law of the law of constant ratios. What does it mean by law of constant ratios? Means that the chemical reactions, chemical compound is produced from a chemical combination, is produced from a chemical combination of atoms, chemical combinations of atoms of 2 or more elements, 2 or more elements by constant weight ratio. Question 3. Burning a pool of coal and cellulose fibers causes what? It may causes air, coal or cellulose fibers, so it may causes air pollutions and lung cancer. So it may causes air pollutions, and lung cancer. Sulfur oxides such as what and what? Sulfur oxides such as sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide, like sulfur dioxide oxide or sulfur trioxide are acidic gases which causes what and what? Acidic gases causing respiratory system problems or malfunctions and building corrosions. So it causes building corrosion and respiratory system malfunctions. The what bond in the oxygen molecule is broken to give what? The what bond in the oxygen molecule is broken to give what? What bond in the oxygen? Divalent bond or covalent, double covalent bond, double covalent bond or double covalent, written. Double covalent bond in the oxygen molecule is broken to give negative ions. Negative ion. Number 4, combination of carbon with oxygen gives what? Carbon with oxygen. So it gives combination of carbon with the oxygen. So it gives you the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide gas, and this reaction is considered a what reaction? This reaction considered over combinations of two non-metals. Combination of two non-metals reactions. Page 68. Okay. Complete the following equations. C carbon plus O2 produces CO2. NH3 plus HCl produces NH4Cl. 2NO plus O2 produces 2NO2. NO2. Choose the correct answer. The bright magnesium ribbon changes into white powder of what? When it burns in the air, when the magnesium burns in the air, so it produces magnesium oxide. So it produces magnesium oxide. Number 2, ammonia combined with HCl producing what of the ammonium chloride? Ammonia combined with HCl and so produces ammonium chloride. This is white fumes. Write the chemical equation representing the following reactions. Number 1, burning of magnesium with oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. So this reaction is magnesium. M. D reacts with plus 2mg plus O2 plus O2 to produce two MgO. Number 2, burning of carbon in the presence of oxygen to produce carbon dioxide. Burning of carbon plus O2 to produce carbon dioxide, CO2. Last question. Question number 6. Calculate the masses of the reactants and the products in the following reactions. Knowing that the mass of sulfur is 32 gram and oxygen 16 gram. Sulfur 32 plus oxygen 16, O16. So 2 times 16 equal 32. 32. So the answer 32 plus 32 equal 64. Here, SO2, sulfur 32 plus 2 times O. 2 times O. 2 times 16. 2 times 16 equal 32. So 32 times plus 32, so it equal 64. So these reactions achieve the law of mass. Yes, these reactions achieve the law of the mass. Achieve the law of conservation of mass or law of conservation of the matter, because the sum of the reactants masses in any chemical reactions like this equals to the sum of the product's mass. So the total amount of the reactants mass equal the total amount of the product mass equal 64 gram, which achieve the law of conservation of the matter or law of conservation of the mass. Thanks, Madam One. See you soon. Goodbye.